Title: River Monsters: The Call of the Current. Throughout human history, rivers have been both revered and feared. These twisting, unpredictable lifelines have birthed civilizations and legends. From the Ganges to the Mississippi, whispers of monstrous beings have passed through generations. Are they born of myth, or rooted in ancient encounters with real predators? This chapter opens the series with a sweeping view of global river systems, ancient folklore, and the psychological fear of what lurks just beneath the surface. Interviews with anthropologists and historians explore why rivers are such common settings for mythical beasts and cautionary tales. We introduce our central question: are river monsters real? Hunters of the Amazon. The Amazon River is a theater of biodiversity, but it's also a place where nightmares come alive. Here, creatures don't just survive, they thrive in extremes. We track the Arapaima, a 10-foot-long relic from the time of dinosaurs, the black piranha, capable of stripping flesh in seconds, and the electric eel, whose jolt can knock a man unconscious. Using local fishermen's testimony, underwater footage, and scientific data, we piece together how the Amazon's monsters earn their deadly reputations. But perhaps the most haunting predator isn't the one you see, it's the one that disappears into the silt, waiting. Shadows beneath the Nile. The Nile gave rise to one of humanity's greatest civilizations, but it also harbors some of its deadliest creatures. The Nile crocodile, capable of dragging a full-grown buffalo into the water, is only the beginning. In this chapter, we explore ancient Egyptian texts, carvings, and oral legends that reference water spirits, river gods, and unexplained drownings. Are these divine punishments, or something else entirely? We follow modern Nile divers and researchers as they navigate one of the world's longest and most dangerous rivers to find answers in waters older than the pyramids themselves. The Mekong's silent giants. The Mekong River snakes through 6 countries and hosts an ecosystem unlike any other. Its most famous resident, the Mekong giant catfish, a docile but massive species weighing over 600 pounds. But local legends tell of more sinister giants, fish that capsize boats, creatures mistaken for dragons, and serpents that protect temples. This chapter delves into the tension between conservation and myth. As damming and pollution threaten these creatures' survival, researchers race to document and preserve the truth before the legends outlive their living counterparts. European myths and murky depths. Rivers like the Danube, the Rhine, and the Thames have long histories and deep mysteries. From the sturgeon believed to inspire sea serpent myths to accounts of giant eels and unidentified swimmers in alpine lakes, Europe's freshwater bodies are steeped in folklore. We visit Loch Ness, often dismissed for its monster myth, to explore lesser-known rivers with eerier stories and even recent sightings. Historians and cryptozoologists join forces to track the origins of these tales and the rare species that may have inspired them. Please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Let's continue. Predators of the Congo. The Congo River is second only to the Amazon in flow and biodiversity, but it's far more dangerous. This chapter is a descent into darkness. The Congo's riverbed plunges deeper than most oceans, and many of its inhabitants have evolved in total darkness. We encounter the Goliath tigerfish, a nightmarish predator with interlocking, dagger-like teeth, armored bitch ears, and other jaw-dropping oddities. As divers attempt risky descents, we question whether these waters might still hide creatures science hasn't catalogued, beasts that strike from below and vanish into the depths. Monsters of the American South. Swamps, bayous, and slow-moving rivers form the backdrop of America's most persistent freshwater legends. We investigate the alligator gar, a fish so prehistoric it's often mistaken for a myth, and the bull shark, known to swim hundreds of miles upriver. In Louisiana, locals tell tales of shape-shifting river spirits, while in Texas, anglers speak of creatures snapping 200-pound test lines. Combining field expeditions, sonar tracking, and interviews with veteran fishers, this chapter reveals the South's rich intersection of science, folklore, and the deeply rooted fear of what swims beneath still waters. Himalayan headwaters. High in the mountains where rivers are born, ancient mysteries persist. This chapter focuses on the rivers of Nepal and northern India, where the cold, fast-flowing currents conceal legends of monsters that drag bathers to their doom. Central to the investigation is the Goonch catfish, an aggressive, armor-plated giant suspected in a string of real-life attacks. With help from local monks, survivors, and scientists, we trace the line between superstition and survival. In these sacred waters, where rivers are gods, monsters may serve as both myth and metaphor. The forgotten rivers. Not all monsters come from famous rivers. In this globetrotting chapter, we explore the world's lesser-known and least accessible waterways. In Madagascar, villagers describe an eel-like predator said to guard the forest's edge. In Papua New Guinea, a cryptic fish known only in whispers has never been seen, but its damage is real. We follow adventurers, biologists, and indigenous trackers as they plunge into rivers without names, where any shadow might be a monster, and every ripple might be watching. Science versus legend. Can science disprove monsters or confirm them? In this analytical chapter, we examine how technology is being used to validate or debunk river monster legends. From DNA water sampling and submersible drones to historical data analysis, scientists and skeptics test decades-old stories. But what happens when the evidence supports the legend? We also meet cryptozoologists who argue that science has missed more than it's found. The line between science and story begins to blur. The vanishing titans. What if the river monsters are real but vanishing? This emotional chapter addresses habitat loss, illegal fishing, damming, and pollution that are decimating freshwater giants. In the Yangtze, the Chinese paddlefish is now officially extinct. In South America, overfishing has pushed the arapaima to the brink. The monsters of old may disappear not in a storm of violence, but with a quiet gasp for air. We explore efforts to save these creatures, and ask, if they vanish, what else will we lose? Legends live on. In our final chapter, we return to the essence of the mystery. Across continents, cultures, and centuries, the stories persist. Children still fear the river's edge. Fishermen still swear by what they saw. And every now and then, a blurry photo or broken net keeps the legend alive. This is more than a documentary, it's a tribute to the unknown. Because in the end, river monsters are not just creatures. They are the reflection of our fears, our imagination, and our enduring bond with the wild. Please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Thank you.